What if I told you that the key to your success and happiness is directly related to your willingness and determination to help somebody else solve their problem? See, I believe that truly successful people and leaders are those who have figured this out and found a solution to the problems that others are having. In other words, we do everything from the lens of helping people. And in this episode, we're going to sit down and dive into this one principle that has helped me change the way that I think about success, and I think that will help you unlock the true success and happiness that you're after. Stay tuned. What's going on, fam? And welcome to the Dad Different podcast, episode number 1. I am excited that you've decided to join me today, sitting down and talking about leadership. My name is Jeffrey, and in this podcast, we talk faith, family, and fatherhood, and really what it means to be men who are leading our families the best we can. Though we face struggles and challenges daily, it's about stepping up and being men who are committed to leading our families well. My vision and mission is to inspire you to become a better husband, better father, better leader, and ultimately a better version of yourself. Thanks for sitting down with me for this episode, and I truly believe that this one principle will help you to begin to recognize not only your potential, but allow you to walk in your calling, in your purpose, and ultimately find success and happiness. Happy New Year to everybody tuning in, and I hope things have taken off to a good start and that everything that you have set out to accomplish this year will be so. And I can't wait to hear about all the amazing and exciting things that you guys are accomplishing this year. So do me a favor, comment below and let me know what is one goal that you have for 2024. I want to hear from everybody, and I want to see some of the great things that you guys are accomplishing throughout the year. But let's get into this conversation. There's one thing I think we can all agree and say we have in common, and that's we all have problems. Everybody has a problem. Everybody is facing a problem or going through a problem, and they're looking for a solution. We all have something that we're trying to accomplish or a better version of us that we're trying to become. And so for many in the new year, it's probably to become a healthier eater. You want to establish healthier eating habits, or you want to change your lifestyle. You want to change the way you look. You want to change your wardrobe. Maybe you want to be less anxious about the things of life altogether, the things that you have no control over. Maybe you want to launch a business. You want to start a YouTube channel. You want to start a podcast. Whatever it is that you're aiming to do this year, there's a solution to that problem. And I will also say that you yourself are the solution to someone else's problem. Successful people are problem solvers. That's what we're going to talk about today. Successful people are problem solvers. Say that with me. Successful people are problem solvers. What problems do you see around you, and what solutions can you offer for those problems? See, now I'll admit we live in a very self-centered, me-focused world, right? And so a lot of times, if we see something that doesn't directly benefit us, we oftentimes don't want to do that thing. We often think if it doesn't benefit me, I don't want to do it. We lack a very crucial part that brings success, and that's sacrifice. Think for a moment a doctor. It takes about 10 to 14 years to become a licensed doctor. And throughout those 14 years, sacrifices are made, whether it be financial sacrifices, late nights studying, physical sacrifices. There are sacrifices that must be made to get to where they want to be and ultimately become a problem solver or become the person that they want to be. So successful people are problem solvers. Think about it this way. A successful lawyer solves legal problems. A car mechanic solves car problems. A heart doctor, you got it, solves heart problems. A computer engineer solves computer-related problems. Hey, a mother solves problems. A father solves problems. You are a problem solver. I want you to say that to yourself and really begin to believe it. Say, I am a problem solver. This is actually one of the main reasons that I started Dad Different in this podcast, is because that I wanted to be a problem solver. There are many people who might share the same story that I have, that I grew up fatherless, and some of the trauma that we experience going through as children, teenagers, and maybe now even as adults with families and children. I want to help someone take the necessary steps to heal and become the man, the husband, the father, and the leader that they can be. I want to be a problem solver for somebody. Now, as we dive into this episode a little bit more, there are 3 things that we must know to fully grasp this idea of being successful by helping others solve a problem. And the first is, and I want you all to understand this, is that we are all created for a purpose. Every one of us has been created, is here on this earth for a purpose. Now, you might not know what that purpose is. You might be in a season where you're trying to figure that out. But I want you to know that as long as you're here, wherever you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, that you have a purpose. And get this, we're going to tie this to the end of this, is that purpose is tied to a person or a people. I'm going to say that again. Your purpose is tied to a person or a people. Let me say this differently. You have been assigned to a person or a people. And the moment that I began to realize this is really when the gears started changing and shifting, and my mentality on true success and happiness began to change as well. You have been assigned to a person or a people. I've heard it said this way: think of your contribution in life, in family, in ministry, to another as an assignment from God. You have been given this assignment directly from God. So if we go back to our examples of some of the professions we talked about, is if you're a lawyer or a doctor, a lawyer has been assigned to a client. A doctor has been assigned to their patient. A husband is assigned to a wife, and a wife to a husband. Parents are assigned to children. Remember that your assignment is always going to solve someone else's problem. If we look in the Bible, arguably the greatest book ever written, we see that Moses was assigned to the Israelites, a people, and Aaron was assigned to Moses, a person. Remember that your assignment will always solve someone else's problem. So as a leader, we always must think this way, that our assignment to a people or a person will always lead to solving a problem. See, the very life that you have and the breath that you're breathing right now is a solution to someone else's problem. So you might be asking yourself, who am I assigned to? And maybe that's a question that you're still trying to figure out, that you're still trying to answer yourself. But I want to dive deep a little bit more, and I want to take a moment and pull from the life of Jesus and how he lived within assignment. So the first place we're going to start is understand that Jesus was a problem solver. And you can say that he solved many problems in his life here. He was a healer to the sick. He was a father to the fatherless. He was the forgiveness that we needed for our sins. He freed people from impure and demonic spirits. He caused the blind to see, the deaf to hear, the lame to walk. And so he was a problem solver, not just spiritually, but he was also solving people's problems physically. So Jesus was a problem solver. And the second thing is that wherever Jesus went, he had something others needed. Wherever he traveled, he had something others needed. He had the solution with him. So wherever you go, you are the solution to a people's problem, to a person's problem. You have something others need right there in your mind, in your heart, scribbled on a piece of paper that's been crumbled and thrown in a corner. You have something others need. There is something that makes you uncomfortable and you want to change it. There is something that drives you that you're passionate about that you want to change. And that is a solution to somebody's problem. See, what Jesus was able to do throughout his ministry, he operated fully and openly because he knew that he had something others needed. And ultimately, he was successful in doing this. We see this all throughout his life. Right up to the point of being led to be crucified. Can you see Jesus there in the garden? He's praying to the Heavenly Father. He's saying, Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me. He didn't want to do it. Nevertheless, he continues, not my will, but yours be done. Even through the moments of agony, his focus was not on himself, but serving the mission. The focus was not on himself, but serving the people that he had been assigned to, you and I. He ultimately knew that it wasn't about him. And we can say that led him to be successful in the mission that was set out for him. And what's that? It was to fulfill the scriptures and lead the people that he was assigned to into freedom and forgiveness. That's why you and I are here right now, because throughout his life, he understood the mission. He understood that his calling and purpose was tied to a people. He was assigned to a people, and that allowed him to be successful. So, number one, Jesus was a problem solver, and so are you. Number two, Jesus had something others need, and so do you. And number three, Jesus was assigned to a people, and you also are assigned to a person or a people. And so as we wrap up this first episode, I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. What have I been given that others need? What do I have in my hand? What am I holding in my heart? What am I holding in my head? What is that idea that's been scribbled and crumpled and thrown away that I have been given to help somebody solve a problem? And it doesn't have to be a business idea. It doesn't have to be a podcast. I'll tell you that, as we said before, that your life itself, the very breath that you have, the very breath that you're breathing, is what God can use to help you serve others. Maybe like me, you have a story similar to mine that you can help others better themselves. Maybe you went through something that you are going to use, that God will use to help you to serve others. Or maybe it is a physical product that can be used to serve others well and solve someone's problems. So whatever it is, remember that everyone has a problem. I have problems, you have problems, and we're simply looking for a solution. And I believe that that success and that happiness will depend on your determination and your willingness to help someone solve their problems. That's what leaders do. That's what true leaders do. Leaders don't lead for the now, they lead for the future. Their minds are on the problem that needs to be solved. Their minds are focused on the people or the person that they have been assigned to. So as you push through this new year, some things to think about. If you're a husband like myself, maybe you can ask yourself, how can I serve my wife better? If you have children, how can I serve my children better? And ultimately, how can I serve my family better? What is that problem that needs a solution to? In the workplace, how can I serve those around me solve a problem? And sometimes it doesn't have to be tied to a paycheck. How can I help somebody be a better version of themselves? How can I leave that person a bit better than I met them? That's what it's all about. And if you're in ministry, how can I serve like Jesus did? How can I serve in my community? How can I serve the local church? How can I serve the elderly? If we focus our attention on others more than we do ourselves, I believe we can unlock true success and happiness because one, we are solving problems, we are becoming better, we're realizing our purpose, and we are leaving others better than we met them. I want to say that one more time. If we focus our attention on others more than we do ourselves, I believe we can unlock true success and happiness because we are solving problems, we are becoming better, we're realizing our purpose, and we're leaving people better than we met them. Fam, I want to thank you for joining me on today's episode. I hope that it was valuable to you. I hope that you got something out of it. And so if you did, I want you to comment below what really stood out to you in this episode. I want you to like this episode, and most of all, I want you to share it if you think that there are other people who would benefit from this conversation. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, for sitting down with me, having this conversation. I hope this was valuable to you as it was for me. Until next time, my name is Jeffrey, the host of the Dad Different podcast, and I will see you guys on the next episode.